Hey, today on Carpooling with Ben, listen, it's coming up about that time. New Year's resolutions always starts with New Year's Day, and there's a real great event that happens from Laid-back Fitness. Ryan McGowan. Ryan,
Yes.
Thanks for joining me in the car today.
Thanks for having me.
You here. The women are going to be fawning over the blue eyes. I hope I can capture that.
I hope so too.
But you're married, and
This is true.
Everybody back off. But Laid-back Fitness, you're a health and a fitness place, but the event that we're going to talk about is with the Rhode Island Mentoring Partnership.
Yes,
and
it
it
is.
is something that has evolved from a polar plunge. So tell us about the Obstaplunge.
Indeed, yes. So, first off, I can't take credit for the Obstaplunge idea because 2 years ago, as I was driving in to prepare for the Frozen Clam Plunge, the 4th annual at the time, my business partner called me, and we had already been into obstacle courses, and we had a bunch of obstacles ourselves. He called me on the way to the beach, and he's like, "Dude, why didn't we bring obstacles?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know."
As if hypothermia wasn't enough to get you going,
Right.
Let's make it a challenge.
Yes.
Okay.
So, I was like, wow, what a great idea. So, we had the event that day. It was great. But the planning started pretty much January 2nd, 2014.
Wow.
Or 15. Sorry, I'm getting confused. And what it was, we wanted to make it short because discomfort is definitely a factor there. It's usually
Sure.
cold on New Year's Day. Goddard
Sure.
Park is almost always windy. And plungers will tell you that's just the worst thing. Like, temperature, rain, snow, whatever, but wind is definitely like your
That's
worst
the killer.
enemy.
Yeah.
So we decided to come up with something basic and simple that people could do in their bathing suits if they wanted to, although they can totally gear up for the event.
Okay.
And a quick way to distract people before they jump into the water. And it also kind of just embodies a lot of what we believe in at Laid-back Fitness, where it's not just being like physically strong, it's being physically competent. So being able to handle yourself in certain situations, and also being mentally strong.
Okay.
So dealing with discomfort, dealing with the cold air, the cold water, and doing things that you don't really feel like doing, but knowing that on the other side of that experience is a reward that you're going to get. And it just builds character.
All right. Okay. Well, the whole event is to raise funds for Rhode Island Mentoring Partnership, which is a phenomenal organization.
Yes, it is.
They work with kids all across the state of Rhode Island, and mentoring is definitely something that's truly needed and makes a big impact. And I'm sure there's a lot of synergy life lessons we could learn between mentoring and the challenge that comes with January 1st.
Yes.
And all the proceeds from this event go there.
Mm-hmm.
What has your experience been? What was it like last year? What did you learn the first year? Because this is the second time you're doing the course before you plunge.
Right.
What did we learn?
I think the biggest thing I learned was we need to direct people right into the water because we left too much space between the last obstacle and the beach, and people are hitting that last obstacle and taking their clothes off and then running into the water.
Okay.
So number one is we're going to make sure that when you leave that last obstacle, you're in the water. There's no chance for you to change there, and we're going to warn people about that.
Okay.
But that was one. Otherwise, it went pretty well. It went pretty smoothly because
Good.
it was our 5th time doing the event itself.
Right.
It was the first time with obstacles.
Yep.
And lucky for us, we had been setting up obstacle courses for a little while now. We do it privately or for schools, nothing,
Okay.
no big races or anything. So we had that experience. I got a great crew. My business partner and I have a great crew of people to help us move things. We're pretty efficient at building stuff, so that actually went really smoothly.
Good.
People at Garden Park were really good about that. But yeah, no changing before you go into the water. Whatever you start in, that's what you're going in. And we're
Even
gonna
if it's
offer.
a Speedo.
Absolutely, and we
All
see
right.
people in Speedos.
It's
Yep.
good. Well, that makes sense. And I mean, full disclosure, I do the polar plunge at various places. And I do a Speedo. And everybody always says, why? Well, it's survival. You see, first thing, if you get into cold water, you've got to take all your clothes off because that's sucking the heat away from you. So learn that, growing up. So I went with, okay, it's the least amount of clothing. You'll warm up faster.
It's very practical.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very good. You know, it's so. Anywho, grape smugglers are welcome.
Absolutely.
What has been your experience with Rhode Island Mentoring Partnership? What have you seen from there that really made you want to be part of this?
Well, it all started when I was training the CEO, Arlene McNulty, who was the CEO at the time.
Great person.
She sure is.
She's awesome.
And just talking to her and her experiences about it, with it just made me want to do good. I'm very lucky. I grew up with a loving family. I have a lot of siblings, awesome parents, and there's like a lot of love in my household. And just in talking to Arlene and recognizing that that's not super common or the norm, I just wanted to be a positive influence in someone's life. And now I've been mentoring Steven for 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. He's almost as tall as me now. I first started mentoring him when he was in 3rd grade. And now he's in a freshman in high school. He's like almost as tall as me. I got quite a few pounds on him still. But like,
is it a shame how the metabolism changes?
Oh yeah, I mean,
they can eat whatever they want and they just burn it.
It's pretty.
They burn it right.
It's pretty impressive. And we actually work out a lot together, and
cool.
that was like what we always did. I mean, the cool thing about movement and the style of movement that we do is it's very kid friendly. In fact, they're usually better at it than most adults. So I would just play with them, and I really didn't teach them a lot in the beginning, and then kind of as we've grown together, like I've taught him some more things, and now we actually meet at the gym since he's in high school. But I've probably gotten more out of it than he has.
It's usually the way.
Yeah, it's just like
way.
very, very gratifying, and to see him grow and mature. Like he appears to be confident now. He's got like more friends. He's more sociable. He's just eating better. He's really grown as a person and blossomed as a young man, and it just makes me feel happy that I might have like helped a little bit with that process.
Sure, you absolutely did, and it's excellent that you have that background. But no matter what it is, if they pair up kids that don't have anything that could be considered a mentor, and they partner up the mentor with them. So no matter who you are, I mean, you're into fitness and you're a coach and you do all that stuff. But it could be a business person. It could be it could be a person that works in manufacturing or construction, whatever. The whole point is they need volunteers to mentor these kids, to help give them the right choices and everything. And it's just a really cool thing. So the Obstaplunge has become the Frozen Clam, the Frozen Clam dip. And then the Obstaplunge has become their signature, event, one of their signature events,
right,
to generate funds to help support all the great programming that they're doing, which is a lot of fun. Now, going into 2017, switch hats for a second, because Laid-back Fitness, it's an oxymoron,
yes,
in and of itself. So, how do you work with a person to get them to go from not doing anything to laid-back fitness?
All right, so
it's a philosophical question.
Yeah, well, I mean, it starts with their goals. It's just about listening to what they want to achieve with their body. Most people still come into our gym because they want to lose weight, so it's just about helping them along that journey, talking about slight tweaks to their nutrition. I personally never try to overhaul anyone's diet or lifestyle, just because I think that's just too much at once.
Yeah.
So we just try to kind of work within what they're currently doing. And for losing weight, it's really all about what you eat. But then for the fitness component, we try to get people to learn natural movement skills, which were intuitive to us at some point. So we crawl, we balance, we jump, climb, run, lift and carry, throw and catch. And that's pretty much all that we do. I mean, within those 8 skills, there's hundreds of techniques that we teach people. And we really try to prepare them for situations. But they're learning a system that's practical and useful and getting fit at the same time. So once they kind of get a feel for that and they see the value, then we try to get them to sign up for some sort of event or do something kind of out of their comfort zone, just because it's really all about creating a body, like we were talking about earlier, that's useful, but that enables us to have experiences in life. Because when it's all said and done, and we're not going to be like, oh, I had a six-pack when I was in my 30s. We're going to be like, I'm so glad I did the Frozen Clam Obstaplunge, like even though I didn't want to.
Right.
Or I'm so glad I was prepared to do that Tough Mudder or that Spartan race, because a lot of people will do that race once and they're like, no more, because they weren't prepared.
Right.
If you're prepared, it can be a very enjoyable experience.
To a degree. I mean,
to a degree.
They literally, those races, you pay to be tortured. I mean,
Yes.
Electric shock,
Yeah.
cold water. I mean, these are techniques that the Geneva Convention prevent us from, using. So, I mean, but for me, $125, you too can do
Yeah, absolutely.
So you too can do a Tough Mudder
And
and get an orange headband. That's always exciting.
And the thing with the electroshock therapy too is we usually have a group of like 25 to
You
30
called
people.
it therapy.
That's what they call it.
That's not therapy. That's torture.
That's their terminology. We usually have a big team, and we do that obstacle together. Normally if you watch that obstacle at an event, you're going to see people covering their head, running through. Oftentimes they get shocked, they trip, they face plant.
Eat the mud.
Oh yeah, our team interlocks arms, and we have grips that we use, like we use a wrist grip or we use an interlock grip to really hang on to each other, and we walk through that thing. And yes, we definitely get
let's think
shocked.
about this from a science perspective. May have to contact like an electrical engineer or something, because you essentially become one body in the voltage. So does that reduce the effect of the voltage on it?
That's what we tell people. We tell them, no, this is a way to spread the voltage
right,
out, so we all get a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can do it.
Yeah. So it's not going to be that bad
So
because
if
we're all
you're changing an outlet at home, hold somebody's hand.
Yeah.
You change the outlet, you won't. The zap won't be as bad.
It's not bad practice. And actually, going back to kind of practical application of what we do, I was doing a lot of renovating this summer. And working with electrical is like whatever, it's no big deal. I mean, how bad can it be? I wasn't like doing 220 stuff like that, but just 110.
Yeah,
it's nothing.
It's easy. See
Yeah.
that? All because you're in shape, and Laid-back Fitness and the Obstaplunge challenge and everything else. That's good stuff.
Yeah,
So
it's practical.
What else is out there that people should know before they start any kind of? I mean, there's the basics that I think people forget to do. Even myself or anybody really, drinking water, how critical that is throughout the day, especially in the wintertime when it's dry out.
Yeah, I think drinking water is important. I mean, I personally think, drink water when you're thirsty. But some of us may have lost that kind of sense a little bit.
Okay.
I don't overemphasize it, but I think it is important. Just trying to
You got yours?
Oh, I sure do. Cheers.
There you go.
Trying to eat real food.
Okay.
Real food.
Not genetically engineered.
Yeah, there's a lot of food-like substances out there that
Pop-Tarts.
it's just not. It's not doing much for you. I think it's pretty simple. Like everything that we do to our body, whatever we eat, move, or whatever we subject our bodies to, it adapts.
Okay.
Or there's a consequence. So, if you eat crappy food and your blood sugar spikes and then drops again, you can run through that cycle. You just kind of get used to like the highs and lows, and every time I feel a little tired and I gotta fuel up with sugar.
Yeah.
Same applies to movement. If all you kind of do is run, then you become a good runner, but you might not be able to climb or jump or balance. And the same thing applies to cold exposure. There's a great guy out there. His name's the Iceman, Wim Hof, Wimhof. He's a crazy Dutch guy. I love him. He is an animal, a very powerful man internally. He's able to deal with ice baths for 80 minutes. He swims in glacial waters, and he just says we've kind of lost the ability to tap into our inner power. And if you subject yourself to cold water and you get through it, you become a little bit stronger mentally. So if we demand a lot of our bodies in that we move in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different paces or speeds, and we subject ourselves to some discomfort here and there within reason, we adapt. Like I try to wear shorts a lot in the winter, not to like show off my calves, but it's more like
Yeah, very
because
nice.
oh, thank you. I mean, I do work out.
Trust and take my advice. Take it from me.
It's more like, you know, what if I should end up in a situation where I'm not really fully prepared and I got to be outside for a while, or what if like I was swimming, or there's my business partner right there in the great pickup.
There we go.
Or on a boat in the winter and something happened. I mean, I hope I would last for a few minutes, or a few minutes longer than the average person.
So you kind of adapt the whole Bear Grylls mentality.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
What's that show he does? It's crazy. It's so
I kind of
crazy.
stopped watching him after the whole Hawaii thing where
Yeah.
he fakes jumping over something. But
Bear, why'd you
what's
do that,
I know what's the
Bear?
other guy? Oh man, Survivor Man is I'm partial to that guy.
Okay. I
Les
know what you're
something.
talking about.
Les Miles?
No, I've always been more of a music kind of person. So,
Gotcha. But you're
talk drummers. We can talk drummers.
Yeah,
So-
but you're a versatile guy too, and that like you play the drums, you play the accordion. If you only played the drums, you could only really be a drummer, but you can get in any band now with all your.
Sure, yes. I'll waiting for Kenny Chesney to contact me in case he needs an accordionist. Or maybe if NSYNC gets back together, I can do something crazy there.
I can see accordion and NSYNC working really well
That'd
together.
be awesome. That'd be a lot of fun. But anyway, so if people want to sign up for the enough about my musical stylings. If people want to sign up for the Obstaplunge challenge, they can just go to the website for Rhode Island Mentoring Partnership.
Yep, that's mentorri.org.
All right, and then if people want to learn more about what you're doing over there with Laid-back Fitness, you have your own site, and they can find you on Facebook. What's your website?
Laidbackfitness.com.
Look at you. That wasn't
Try to
taken,
keep
huh?
it pretty easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty. That's good. That's good. Well, Ryan, thank you so much
Yeah,
for
thank
joining
you,
me in
Ben.
the car. It was a lovely drive around the beautiful area surrounding TF Green Airport. Hopefully, we haven't tripped up any TSA people or anything like that. But anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to check out all the great things they're doing over there at the Rhode Island Mentoring Partnership and Laid-back Fitness. Have a great day.